Greetings, everyone, and welcome to 4Point Pathways. I'm Eric Stevens. Today, what I want to talk about is Adobe Sign, and specifically what you can do with Adobe Sign beyond just get a signature for something. There's a tremendous amount of power inside it, and this applies to other signature tools too, but I'm going to talk specifically about Adobe Sign. One of the things that folks, when they start to think about signing PDFs, signing forms, is, well, okay, how do I manage the process associated with that, right? It's not as simple as just send it to somebody and they sign it. Well, there are use cases like that where I just need this one signature from the consumer, from the individual, and then I need the document back and then we're fine, okay? One of the things that I would argue in that case is I'm not even sure the signature was necessary. I've spoken before about what a signature is, and the signature is there for authentication, non-repudiation, and data integrity, specifically a digital signature. So authentication is, are you validating it? Did you go check that that signature actually was for that person? Did you do a comparison? Because if you didn't at the time of signing, you're not getting authentication out of it. You don't know that that person actually signed it. All right. And you might have done this maybe for your spouse, someone else, you scrawled on there because it didn't matter. Okay. Well, hold on. If people are doing that, then you didn't need the signature. Non-repudiation. Non-repudiation is a scenario where you can go afterwards and say, well, you signed this. And that person goes, no, I didn't say that. They repudiate the signature. Non-repudiation says you can't do that. Well, in the case of a physical signature, somebody says, I didn't sign that. Well, yeah, but it looks like your signature. Yes, but I didn't sign that. So how do you prove associated with that? Well, if you're not going to do that, if someone's going to an insurance company and adding a beneficiary to an insurance policy, do you really care? Do you really need that signature? If it's a physical signature, you're getting no data integrity on it. You have no idea whether or not the document was changed. We can easily demonstrate that physical documents can be altered, that electronic scans of physical documents can be altered. So hold on. So one of the questions we always ask is, do you really need that signature? But let's say you do. Okay. But it's more complex than just sending it out and having them sign it and come back. So a couple of different use cases we can look at. So one is where both parties need to sign that. So what we can do inside of Adobe Sign is set up a process whereby automatically we send it to the person who needs to sign it outside the organization. Then we get the signed version back, we pull it back in, and then we sign around that. And now both of us have signed it. And those signatures are now overlapping. So we can tell, and we've validated the two, and we can compare the timing and the connections. That gives us authentication, non-repudiation, and data integrity all the way across all of those documents. But there's a lot of other very, very complex scenarios that Adobe Sign can deal with. It is a full engine that allows us to route around these documents and get these signatures. Along with it having all that capability, it also has the ability to track all of that information. So we can tell which documents are out for signature, who has them, how long have they been out there? Do I need to recall it? Was it canceled on the part of the signer? So we can track all of those metrics and get that data. But let me give you some examples of some more complex workflows that Adobe Sign is capable of handling. So one of the more complex scenarios that you would get is the multiple signer scenario. Now, we can do multiple signers sequentially. I send it out and I get person A, then person B, then person C to sign it. Those are cascading signatures, and we've got the 3 signatures. Any one of those people could reject it. Any one of those people could cancel the process, and then you'll get notification of a cancellation. You decide what you do at that point in time. And then those can be internal or external. I'm not sure of what kind of an external, but one person could be external. So it could be an internal signature approving a loan document, going to the customer who's approved on the loan document, then it comes back in, and a final signature at an executive level or at a broker level, or all of those different things are possible. So that's a sequential scenario. I can do 1, 2, and 3. We can also do what we classify as a parallel scenario. whereby I'm going to send it out to 3 people simultaneously, and I want 3 independent signatures. We can gather 3 independent signatures. We don't care about timing. They're not overlapping. They're not encapsulating each other. They're just 3 independent signatures. And once the 3 signatures are done, then the document is done. Okay. And we can set up rules whereby if one person cancels it, then it's okay. But if all of them cancel it, it's no good, and all of those kind of things. So we can get very, very sophisticated in how we handle the documents being routed out there. The other way we can do this, though, is a hybrid scenario. Maybe I need one person to sign it, and then it needs to come in, and I need 3 people to sign it, then it needs to go to someone else, and one person signs it. So really, as sophisticated as you can think of in terms of the signings and the multiple signatures that are necessary, the chances are that Adobe Sign can handle it. There's one other kind of case I want to talk about, and that's a Teams scenario. You may have a group of people, and any one of whom inside of that group can approve or sign off on a document. Maybe it's an acceptance of a marketing piece, approval from an agency or something like that. Well, anybody in the department is allowed to review it or sign it, right? So you can create groups that are allowed and say any one of these people can sign it, and we can move it along. And again, we can connect those with all the other processes. Then finally, when we've got all this sophistication and we've got all this tracking going on and all this capability, there's still the ability outside of the signature process, outside of Adobe Sign, to manage very, very complex workflows and very, very complex signature requirements. And this comes into play when we have multiple parts, multiple sections of a document that needed to be signed, where we want this group to sign off on page 1 through 3, that group to sign off on this section, that group to sign off on the second document that's going to be merged in, etc. We can handle that outside, inside of the Adobe Experience Manager Forms environment, where we can have each individual part of an overall cohesive package signed independently, again, using complex workflows inside of AEM Forms, but then complex workflows inside of Adobe Sign. So I could have a summary page that needs to be group signed by that one over there, specifications document that needs to be signed by that person in engineering and that person in engineering, and then a final section that needs to be signed off by legal over there, and only that person can sign. Then I can gather all of those, pull those all back together, merge it all together, and now I've got one document that has all of the pieces, one package really, that has all of the pieces associated with it. Bundle that up maybe in a zip file, or put it on a server, or push it into a records management solution or document management solution, attach it to a CRM. All of those different kinds of things are possible. So in summary, Adobe Sign has a lot of power and capabilities that gives you the ability to route and flow the signatures, and then track where they are, who's got them, what they need to be done, when they've got canceled, all of those kinds of things, so that you can do pretty much anything you can think of. And those things that you can't do, the chances are we can handle them inside the AEM Forms environment, where we're generating those documents anyway. We can manage all of that process and get it to the right people, so that you end up with the cohesive package that you need with all the appropriate signatures. Thanks. If you're looking for more information on digital signatures or how we might be able to help you, please check out our website.